first DLC, which takes place on the Isle of Armor. I'm right now. I'm in my Switch menu because the time and date are very important for what we're about to do. So I'm going to go there. But in terms of the bid war that we have for the character name, we can go ahead and close that and take care of that now, because we're going to name our character right away.
All right, let me do one quick refresh to make sure everything's good.
Mm-hmm.
Got it?
Yep, I got it. The character name will be Viola Boy.
Like viola, like the instrument, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct, yes.
All right.
With a space.
Capital V, space in between.
Okay, let's see.
You got it.
All right. E-I-O-L-A space boy. Oh, you can do 12 characters. I said 10, but that's fine. Viola Boy is still great. Okay. Time is going to start. 3, 2, 1, go.
And good luck.
Thanks. It's got to go better than last time. So the reason why I'm here, obviously, so this is first try. So I'm doing this run for the first time for the second time. And the reason being is that this is a Pokemon speedrun. And Pokemon speedruns are wildly unpredictable a lot of times, to the point that I had to mercy kill my run in MidFall SpeedBall 2020 because RNG was not my friend at all. So we're going to hope that RNG cooperates just a little bit more than it did last time. But just to give a kind of general rundown of what the run is, just in case you missed that run, like I mentioned, this is a run of the first DLC of Pokemon Sword and Shield, which takes place on the Isle of Armor. Basically, there are two main routes that we could use for this run. The first being that we could use Sobble all the way up until we use Kubfu, and then we have to use Kubfu to finish the game. I'm not going to be doing that route. I'm going to be doing a more safer and ever so slightly slower route, which is the Ninetales route. So we're still going to start with Sobble, but we are going to use Sobble up until we catch a Vulpix, evolve it to Ninetales. Then we're going to use Ninetales for a good middle chunk, and then from the middle chunk, after that is complete, we will have Kubfu, and then we end the game with Kubfu, involving it into Urshifu. That bears mentioning as well. The Tower of Two Fists has two main categories, which are get Urshifu, or the good ending, quote unquote, and the bad ending, which is where we don't get Urshifu. So what we would do in the bad ending is we would get our Kubfu, and then we would immediately release it, and then we would fight the tower with our main Pokemon. And it's just very sad because you get Kubfu as a result of completing these dojos challenges, and the guy's just like, oh, okay, you threw away a Pokemon for nothing. I guess you can use whatever Pokemon you want then. That's fine. But luckily we're going to be doing the good ending, which I think is more fun anyway. But to do that, we actually have to start a fresh file, start a game, and get to the point that we can get into the DLC. So we still do have to do quite a big chunk at the beginning before we're even able to access the DLC. So that's what we're going to be doing now. And now all that vamping and talking was because we start the game off with a nice fat 2.5 minute cutscene. So hopefully I distracted you from that a little bit as we're getting ready to finally enter the gameplay. As soon as I gain control of Viola Boy here, Viola Boy if we're talking instrument, then we are going to do a big settings change so that things are going to go faster in terms of text, in terms of skipping movies, in terms of skipping battle animations and nicknames and all that stuff. And I am going to focus on that for a second because I like to do it fast and optimally, and it's easy to screw up because there are so many options. So when we get there, I will just go silent for a second. All right, we're about to gain control. Stand up. All right, here we go. All right, that was good. First obstacle of the run is complete, which is to change the options. All right. So the whole intro to this game is rather slow. Unfortunately, we're not going to finish our first fight until about 10 minutes, a little less than 10 minutes into the run. So we have to go through all, it's a modern Pokemon game. It's a little hand-holdy. It really teaches you, the very basics of Pokemon as if we had never played Pokemon before. So we do have to go through that, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm just happy to get another chance to try and showcase this game and give it another shot. If at any point, anyone has questions in the chat they want to ask me about the run or anything outside of the run, it doesn't have to be run specific. Feel free. I'm sure Helix or Newt would be happy to throw those my way. I'm always happy to answer them because there's a lot of, you know, cutscene downtime in this run. And we're going to head on over to Hop's house right after this. One question I always have is I don't know how Hop has a Pokemon already. It's kind of cheating. Like you're supposed to have a starter Pokemon. I don't know why Hop has a Wooloo and then gets another starter Pokemon. A little bit cheating, but that's fine. We'll ignore it.
I'm really excited about this route because Ninetales is one of my favorite Pokemon, so
yeah,
this is good.
That's what makes Sword and Shield speedrunning very cool is that there is so much alternative stuff that you could do with it, especially since the second DLC has come out, which I believe has come out in between my MidFall SpeedBall run and this one, or it might have been, you know, it just freshly came out at the time. I can't remember, but because so the second DLC introduces Dynamax adventures. So what you can do in like a full game Pokemon Sword and Shield run now is that you can jump as long as you're playing the category in which DLC is included, which would be called any % with DLC. Is that you start the game off like normal, and then you jump over to the Crown Tundra first, you Dynamax adventure, and then you get a level like 50, 60 legendary type Pokemon right away, and then you just blast through the rest of the game with it. I say blast through, it's still a 4-hour run, but like you jump through a lot of it, that, you know, as opposed to having obstacles like you would have before. You just have a nice high level Pokemon that will follow you right at the beginning of the game before you fight the first gym even. So it's kind of, you know, you blast through the rest of the game. And because of how Dynamax adventures function, it's not the same Pokemon it doesn't have to be the same Pokemon every time. You can have a variety of routes with a bunch of different legendaries or pseudo legendaries, and it makes it a lot more interesting. So Gen 8 Pokemon speedrunning is pretty fun in that regard. And then even with smaller categories like this one, there's variety. The reason why I am running the Ninetales route, by the way, is not just because Ninetales is awesome, which Ninetales is awesome, but it is, as I mentioned, a little bit safer. And that being, if I had to do the Sobble route in a marathon setting, I would have to get a Sobble that has very good stats, especially when it comes to special attack. And if I got bad luck and I didn't get a good enough Sobble with good enough special attack, I'd have to reset, or I'd have to use a backup save file or something like that. And it's just not as fun. It's not as marathon conducive. In this case, we're going to still grab Sobble here, but it doesn't matter at all what my Sobble stats are. Even if I have bad Sobble stats, I only have to go through a few trainers with Sobble. It's not going to be a big deal. But if I get a Ninetales, we catch Vulpix first. If I catch a Vulpix and the Vulpix has bad stats, no problem. We're in a grassy area that's full of Vulpix. I'll just catch another one. It's a lot faster than having to reset and then go through this whole cutscene again. There's like 2 minutes in between when you get the Sobble and then when you complete the fight with Hop, and I don't want to have to reset that in a marathon run, so it's not very fun. The second main reason is the fight that gave me a ton of trouble in Midfall is when we fight our main antagonist Clara for the third and final time. That fight is basically almost an RNG coin flip. If you use Ninetales, even if you fail the coin flip, there's a chance that you can still survive. If you use Sobble and you fail the coin flip, you're done. There's nothing you can do. You're just gonna die and you have to reset. And then you have to do that whole fight over again, waste like 4 minutes. It's bad. So at least if I'm going to have an RNG coin flip segment in the middle of a marathon run, I want to have a chance to bounce back from it afterwards. So hopefully it cooperates with us a little bit better than that. And then yeah, Ninetales is just awesome. Who doesn't love Ninetales? So
Heck yeah.
heck yeah. Part of the reason why I got into this game from a speedrun perspective was I was what that would have been SGDQ, I guess, when they ended with a Pokemon Shield run, and the Pokemon Shield route at the time had Arcanine and Excadrill. And Arcanine is my favorite Pokemon, so I wanted to get into that, but a 4-hour run is pretty long for me, and I don't have 4 hours to stream regularly, on an everyday basis. So I wanted to do something bite-sized, and that's when I found Tower of Two Fists, because this run is, right now my PB is just over an hour and a half. It's a lot more digestible than 4 hours. So this is our first fight with Hop. throws out that Wooloo. It seems like our Sobble has a bad attack stat. No, okay, well, we still got a 3-shot. I thought we were gonna have to 4-shot it with the pound. We're gonna level up here. We're gonna get water gun. Our special attack seems okay. It's not great, but it could be worse. And we're going to probably 2-shot the Score Bunny unless we crit. In which case, if we crit, it might save a little bit of time, but unfortunately, like you're about to see here, we're gonna use water gun. Then Hop's gonna go on his spiel about how cool it is that I know type advantages, and Hop is frustrating from a speedrun perspective in that regard because it has a lot of interjections. If I had crit, he would have had an interjection about me critting as well, which just wastes time. But overall, that was a pretty good fight. Nothing of note really, and our Sobble is pretty decent, so not that it matters.
I'm with you there on the bite-size run, so to speak. I mean, after seeing Bungee to the Tree run the Candy Floss route at the most recent midwinter, midwinter, early 2020, I was thinking, maybe I'll pick up this run, maybe, but the length really turned me off. But I'm glad there's some bite-sized stuff, so
yeah,
a bit easier if I ever want to. If anybody in chat ever wants to.
Yeah, this is a great run for it. This run is very easy to jump into. In fact, I worked with another streamer, Emre, who has a video series on her YouTube channel called Escort Mission, where she does like little interview segments with streamers, but we also take her through one of our runs where she plays and we just tell her what to do. So she's not reading a guide. She's never done the run before. And I took her through this run, and she was able to get like a mid 140 or like maybe high 140 time on me telling her the route with words. So like it's pretty easy to jump into. It's very accessible, which is good. It's just when you get down to the the funny parts about trying to be in a marathon setting, or if you're trying to go on a world record grind or something like that, it's gonna get a little frustrating, as all Pokemon games do, because it's just entirely dependent on the game cooperating for you. There's not like, as opposed to other games where you have techniques and things that you can master and you can be in control of. You just have so little control in Pokemon games. So it's just very interesting. It offers its own unique challenge. These are all scripted encounters, by the way. We're going to hit the same 3 encounters in terms of the Pokemon that they are every time. So it's always going to be Squovit, Rookidee, Squovit. You can like fight them and catch them, so they will have like varying stats and abilities, but we'll always hit these 3 Pokemon in roughly the same spot, and never more, never less. So they're scripted in that regard. And then we just have basically an interactive cutscene coming up with one of the legendaries of the game. Probably one of the more frustrating parts, because it's a fight, but it's a fight that you can't control, and you just have to waste 3 turns while it gets foggy on the screen, and it's just, not particularly fun. But once you get that, it really opens up, so it's good once we get past it. Yep, there it is. There's the legendary, and you're going to see we're actually going to enter a fight, but it's not going to be really a fight. I just have to try to use pound, and then the pound doesn't work, and more fog and stuff goes on the screen. You might have noticed, by the way, we have another incentive open for this game, which is Bulbasaur versus Squirtle, and a lot of people think that is a starter incentive. It is, and it's not. So that incentive can stay open. So if you're still on one side or another, Bulbasaur or Squirtle, and you want that to win, continue to get donations in towards improving the Midwest Speedfest streams and stream PCs and stuff like that. It's very important. They do all this on a volunteer basis as they raise money for charity, and the technology behind it is super important. So continue to donate towards that, and you have an incentive to go towards if you want your money to go towards something. Bulbasaur versus Squirtle.
Yeah, we've had a lot of discourse about that lately, but Bulbasaur gang, I need to see you put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah.
Squirtle is up $50 to nothing, so.
50 to nothing? Oh gosh.
Give me a minute.
Newt will not be having this. Absolutely not. Yeah, no Charmander representation there. We only get to choose between Bulbasaur or Squirtle, but that's all right. Charmander is my choice out of those 3, but that's all right. Charizard is in everything, so.
Squirtle's my choice. I know where my priorities lie.
I do have a Squirtle pop figure right here on my desk right here. See?
Ooh.
Yeah. Always looking over me. Giving me questionable RNG at best. All right, so very important after this cutscene is that we have to remember to talk to mom. One of the easiest things you can do if you're learning to do this run is forget to talk to your mom after this, because you'll walk quite a distance and then you won't be able to continue because they'll be like, hey, did you talk to your mom? Gotta talk to mom. It's always important to let mom know where you're going. And also, mom's pretty cool in this game. I like mom. All right.
Shoutouts to moms.
Shoutouts to the moms out there. All right, so now the game opens up a little bit. We get to actually go on a route. We're actually gonna get to see some wild Pokemon and battle them. I will mention, as long as it's open a little bit still after my run, because I know I'm the last run tonight, I'm gonna donate $5 per unscripted encounter that I hit. It is a little easier to not hit encounters in this game, but we're gonna still avoid them. But if we do, then we do. We do have to battle and catch a Pokemon here for speed's sake, and we want it to be a Wooloo, and we want it to be level 5 or 6. So we got pretty lucky. The reason why we want it to be a Wooloo over a Squover, a Rookie D, or something else in the area is that they give a lot more XP. And if we get a level 5 or 6 Wooloo, then we are going to hit level 8 before we do our next fight, which speeds it up quite a bit. So we're going to hit level 8 right now, which is great. So quite fast. We like that. And the other reason why we want to catch a Pokemon here is because if not, Leon on Route 2 is going to try to give us a catching tutorial. But now that we've caught a Pokemon, he won't do it. So it saves time. I almost hit that Rookie D. That was really close. All right. But now we got some more cutscene. We got to get our Pokedex and stuff like that. You know, it's all important stuff.
Well, good, because I have some stuff to say.
Say some stuff.
We have a $10 donation from I of Newt, who
Hey.
says, for my little cabbage boy. And just before that, a $100 donation from Telgrace, who says, Bulbasaur gang, rise up.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, y'all heard me. Bulbasaur is now in the lead with $110 to Squirtle's 50. So now, Squirtle gang, it's time for us to fire back.
Yeah. Or water back.
Yeah. I made that joke earlier. It's a variation of it.
Yeah.
I walked into that one though. Oh,
It's
no.
all right. It's all right. I was ready for it. I was gonna make some kind of like water-based pun. So, what is this Pokemon's name again? Is it Yamper? Yeah, Yamper. Shout out to Yamper. It's very cute. I'm a big dog Pokemon guy. Arcanine's my favorite. Yeah, I want to build a whole team of dog Pokemon.
Aw.
Yeah.
There are a lot. I think that'd be easy.
Yeah, I mean, if you count the legendary dogs from Gen 2, then you got half a team right there already. But
Oh, true.
yeah, but I using legendaries is a little bit cheating, so I'm gonna try.
Yeah,
I
what if
wonder
you,
if there's 6 other dogs.
Like non-legendaries.
Yeah,
We got.
so we got Arcanine,
Houndoom.
Bolton, Houndoom. Yeah, there is Lillipup and what Lillipup evolves into.
There's Rockruff, which kind of becomes not a dog, but
Okay, yeah, we might count that. So we got our Pokédex right here. We're gonna run over here and get this rare candy, which we're not gonna use for a long time if we use it at all. But we're gonna grab it because it's very quick to grab. And then we're gonna head up here. Hop is gonna try and tell us what a Pokemon Center is. And we're gonna avoid that. But what we are gonna do is when we get inside is we're gonna deposit our Wooloo, which is important. Gen 8 is a Pokemon game that if you catch Pokemon, you get experience, as you saw when I caught the Wooloo. And 2, if you have multiple Pokemon in your party, they split the experience. Oh darn! So I'm supposed to say, of course not here. I just wasted 20 seconds. So now we actually get to go through what a Pokemon Center is. Congrats. That's all right. That's fine. Now we're gonna go
look to your right. You can see the Pokemon.
Yeah, exactly. So we got a little tour. It's probably not 20 seconds. It's probably more like 10, but still. We deposit our Wooloo. Then we're gonna go say hi to our friend the berry salesman and get some Pekka berries. Pekka berries are ones that cure poison, which will be very important in the run. Say hi to Hop again, who wants to tell us about the gym challenge. Again, very hand-holdy. Like, if you played a Pokemon game, you know there's 8 gyms, and there's Pokemon centers, that's where you heal. Everyone knows this, but, you know, it's for the kids. This is a kid's game, in a way. Yeah, so also worth noting, as of right now, at the very least, I run 2 Pokemon games, which are this one and Gen 1. So it's quite the ends of the spectrum. So there, I have a middling knowledge of everything that happens in between. So I'm sure we could think of some more dog Pokemon, but I'll have to actually research because I'm not that smart. So this is where we would have got our catch tutorial, by the way, but we are not going to get one hand-holdy thing that we can skip. And then now we're on Route 2. So Route 2 has some wild Pokemon. There are 3 trainers on Route 2, one of which we're going to skip, though. So that's good. Here's the first one. Likes to do a super zoom on it, even though I could clearly see it from where I am standing, but that's fine. There we go. And then this is part of the reason why being level 8 is a little faster. So I would go into this fight as with level 7 normally, unless I got that good Wooloo. Now we have a potential to 2-shot this Squovit at best, because of our increased stats. It looks like we can 2-shot or 3-shot. If we had been level 7, we would have 3-shot or 4-shot probably. Cool. So we 2-shot. So optimize the speed a little bit. That's very good. So that's the main reason why it's a little bit faster. And we also go into the next fight already level 9, which obviously increases it a little bit as well in terms of speed because our stats are better. All right, dodging some encounters there. Very useful that Gen 8 made it so there are overworld encounters primarily, so we don't have to use things like revives in terms of speedruns, because we can see most of the Pokemon. It doesn't stop you from hitting them from now and again, but you know, it'd be like that. We walk around the backside of that trainer whose back is to a rock, so we don't have to battle them. And then now we're going to battle this other kid. Blip Bug is pretty annoying. Always use Struggle Bug, and unless we crit it, is always going to go down in 2 shots. The reason why Struggle Bug is annoying is because it also lowers our special attack. So it makes it so our water gun does less damage. If we had somehow crit it, then it would have been great, but you almost never do. I think I've crit that Blip Bug like once or twice or something like that. And then we got Nickit. Nickit loves to use Quick Attack. It's like one of Nickit's favorite things to do. And it looks like this is going to be a 4-shot unless we get crit of some sort. The most optimal thing, obviously, it would be to get less turns, but oh darn, I thought we were gonna get him. Hopefully, Nickit doesn't use Quick Attack on this last turn. Good, saves half a turn, so almost as fast as we could have gotten it. Honestly, it was as fast as we could have gotten it without crits. So I'll take it. That's pretty good. All right, and then now we're at Hop. This is also the professor of the region. Another long cutscene. Blah blah blah. So. Any donations, any plugs, or if you guys just want to chat, that's fine too.
You were mentioning berries before, and I sort of came to the realization that I think when I played through Pokemon Sapphire for the first time, that I spent more time growing berries than actually playing the rest of the game.
Yeah. See, I went the opposite way. So I just redid a playthrough of Pokemon Sapphire, and I did the opposite. I just took berries, never planted them. I felt bad after. I felt like I wasn't doing my part for the environment. Right. But we don't pick any berries. Someone else picks the berries for us. We just buy them for standard capitalism. Okay, so we're gonna head back out here, and then we're going to fight Hop for the second and last time in this run, so we don't have to deal with Hop's interjections too much longer. He does have some that are optional in this battle. We'll get them. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But in terms of the fight itself, it couldn't be any less dangerous. Honestly, it's very simple. We water gun to win everything. We hope we get maybe a crit or two, or things go a little bit faster in terms of our stats and stuff. But there isn't anything speed tech wise that we do here. So it's pretty simple. He's got 3 Pokemon now. He's got his Wooloo, he's got his Score Bunny. He throws on a Rookie D to cap it all off. We might have to 3-shot this Wooloo, unless that was just a really bad roll. 2-shot is optimal. Okay, yeah, never mind, we're fine. So we just had a bad first roll. That was fine. So 2-shot is pretty normal there. So the score bunny is where things can have RNG. So it's usually going to take 2 hits unless we crit, obviously. Ooh, the score bunny's faster than us. I don't know if that's usual. The other RNG element there, which might come into play now because the score bunny is faster than us, which I'm not used to seeing. We must have really bad speed. Or well, it looks like we're speed tied, it looks like, because I got to go first that time. Okay, so what can happen there is that there are 2 moves that score bunny can use, Tackle and Ember. If the AI chooses to use Ember, then Hop will also have a line about like sun's burning bright or something, like some weird interjection. He's like, yeah, sun's burn bright, and then I use Ember and does like 2 damage. You know, it's like a big anime line for no payoff, and that wastes time. So we want to see Tackle there, which is what we saw, which is good. And then yeah, so that fight was pretty much as planned. Not really anything noteworthy. Another big cutscene coming up after this too, for like a minute and a half.
Reminds me of when Marnie says, "This move reflects my feelings," and then uses bite.
yeah, it's stuff like that. There's all these little interjections. Yeah, from a speedrunning perspective, it's frustrating. It's kind of funny from like a casual perspective. I enjoy it, but it's just like, come on, don't waste my time. And if I crit, you know, it would have saved time if it, you know, 1-shot over a 2-shot. But then he's also going to talk about how I crit, so it's like, you know, just stop, just don't do that. You don't have to comment on everything, Hop. That being said, though, people hate Hop overall. I'm not a Hop hater. I just, from a speedrun perspective, it's just like, I don't want you to talk so much, but I like Hop as a character. I think he's a really good rival character, so pretty cool. But yeah, we're just waiting in this cutscene. We got these wishing stars, which is going to turn to our Dynamax bands, and we are going to use Dynamaxing once in this run, so it's not going to be for a while, but we will use it once. Once and one time only. Hopefully, you know, if we die at that fight, then we'll have to use it multiple times, but hopefully just one fight. After this is when we're going to head to the wild area for the first time, and that's when things get really interesting in terms of the routes. We're going to one thing that bears mentioning is that because we start this game from the beginning and we get over to the DLC at literally the second we can, pretty much, we forego a lot of things. We don't have fly, we don't have a bike, we don't have the things that would help us move about faster, so we have to move in more creative ways. And the way we end up doing that a lot of times is utilizing death warps, and warping, you know, with trainers or with higher level Pokemon in the area than what we have going on, so that we get teleported back to a more centralized location. Luckily, money isn't a factor in this route because we don't really have to buy too much. We do a little bit of shopping, but if money were a problem, then we couldn't die willy-nilly like this, because then we'd have to worry about items. Every time we lose a fight, we also throw money, which I always thought was interesting from a wild Pokemon perspective, because even when you die to a wild Pokemon, you throw money. I understand kind of from a trainer perspective, if every battle you throw money on it with a trainer, fine. It's kind of weird, but fine. But like when you lose to a wild Pokemon, you still like throw money at them, I guess. Like wild Meowth out in there that beats me, and I'm just gonna throw money at that Meowth. I guess so. Only in Pokemon World. All right, so we got to make our way back here. Hopefully, dodging encounters as best we can. Well, if I see a Zigzagoon here, I panic a little bit, because Zigzagoons do what they are designed to do, which is zigzag. They run all over the screen, making it a little bit scary, but we didn't see any, which is good. They're also kind of rare there, so. More cutscene stuff coming up where Hop is going to give us a TM, then we're going to talk to our moms. Nothing really of note. So we got plugs, donations. Anyone wants to say hi, anyone has questions, anything like that, now's a good time.
I'm not seeing any donations.
Squirtle gang,
but
come on.
Yeah.
We still got time. We still got time. Or you know what? Charmander gang too. If you feel like you've been wronged and you don't have a Charmander option, you can donate to that too. That's fine. Like, I'm not going to say no. Shout out to moms again. They're sending us off on the train. All right, so now we're gonna enter the wild area. If you're unfamiliar, you haven't played Gen 8 Pokemon, wild area, as opposed to having individual routes that connect to place, there is one big wild area that kind of connects all of the major towns in the Galar region. Oops. You know, there's Pokemon there that their levels scale with you, and then there's different areas that unlock with powers that you get. Like, you know, there's one area of the wild that you can't unlock unless you have Surf, for example. So then, and by Surf, I mean riding your bicycle along the water. I say Surf because, again, I run more older generations of Pokemon typically, but you know, things like that. So it's a nice big area full of wild Pokemon, and it has like its own climate in different areas and stuff like that too, which is why we set the time up for the beginning the way we did. The wild area on the date and time that I have set is not only going to spawn certain Pokemon that we need, like Vulpix, but it's also going to make it so that there is the drought condition is in effect, which boosts the attack power of fire type moves, which, as you can imagine, since we're getting ready to get Vulpix and Ninetales, is going to be a little bit beneficial for what we have going on. We're not going to spend a lot of time in the wild area, but we're going to have a fight or two in there, and it's going to matter. It's going to speed things up just a bit. So now we're going to have Rains here. We're going to head over to the left. There's going to be an Onix. We're going to purposely die to this Onix. Now, this Onix is a bit of a troll. It has 2 moves that can hurt us and 2 moves that can't. What we would love to see is Rock Slide. However, even if we see Rock Slide, it might miss because it's not a 100% accurate move. However, it will kill us. Come on. Yes. Good RNG. Thank you, Onix. So that is as fast as that Death Warp can go, which is great. Now, what happens here? We die. We get brought back to this person who says, "Oh, how are you? I see you're having a little bit of a rough time. Do you want me to teleport you to the next area?" Great. So now we're all the way across the wild area, which saves us a lot of walking time. And we're gonna walk all the way over here. And you can see a bridge in the distance there. We're gonna cross that bridge, cross over to the other side, and then that is where a Firestone is gonna be. And you might be connecting the pieces here. We're gonna need that Firestone to evolve our Vulpix into Ninetales. And then we are going to Death Warp again back to the front of the wild area. And then we're gonna catch our Vulpix. So that is how we circumnavigate not being able to travel quickly. That item ball in the distance, that is our Firestone. There's gonna be a Sigilift that pops up there. There we go. Please don't hit me. Thank you. And then we're gonna Death Warp off a Rhyhorn or a Skorupi. Either or are good options. They're the most common ones that pop up here. Not the cat one, please. Not the cat one. Okay. The cat one is tough. Doesn't have a lot of attacking moves, so it's not, you know, very good for that. But Rhyhorn and Skorupi have a lot of attacking moves. Bulldoze is great. Kablam. Death Warp. We're gonna go back to that same lady that warped us to the area this time, the far area. This time we're gonna say no, though. No thanks. Now we're gonna catch our Vulpix, which part of the reason why we, like I said, we set the date and time to what it is because there's a drought in the year, which causes a lot of Vulpix to be out, which is great for us. So, Tyro, no. Don't want it. Don't want it. There we go. So here's some Vulpix here. So if they can spawn here between level 7 and level 10. 7 is unrunnable. We can't use a level 7 at all. It's just too low level. Level 8 is fine. I would have preferred level 9 or 10 just because it makes it a little bit easier, but level 8 is fine. Now, the second thing that we have to look at is that we have to have certain good stats for this Vulpix. Namely, our special attack and our speed needs to be high enough. Those are the main two. So I'm going to catch this Vulpix. I'm going to go into my menu after, and I'm going to check on its stats. Hopefully, it has good stats. We need it to have at least 13 special attack and at least 15 speed is what we're aiming for at level 8. And I have a little guide over here that tells me that. I don't just have that memorized. Okay. So let's see here. 15. Speed is a little low, so I'm going to catch another one. Too bad. Special attack was good. The speed was low, so we're going to catch another one. Which is fine, which is fine. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Pound. Level 9, that's a little bit better for us anyway. Just gives us a little bit of a leg up in terms of experience, which is good. And then for level 9, we're going to want it to be at least 14 special attack and at least 16 speed. All right. All right, so let's try that again. Great. This is a good one. All right, so now we're going to evolve it right away, actually. So we're going to go into our menu. Firestone. See, that's why that is a perfect example as to why this route is better in a marathon setting, because if I had gotten that Sobble that was bad off the start, I would have wasted 3 minutes resetting, or I would have had to have had a backup save file, which is, you know, isn't interesting from a speedrun perspective. So now we got Ninetales. Voila. Now, we're going to walk over here, hopefully avoiding any Pokemon. This no always happens here. You can't control it. As you can see, Vulpix abound, though. Like, if I needed to catch more, there's plenty. There's going to be a Ninjask that pops up right there that we're going to defeat for experience. Ninjask is a bug-type Pokemon, obviously weak to fire types. It also doesn't have particularly a lot of moves that damage us, which is good. It mainly just tries to buff up its defense and speed, which doesn't matter to us because it's already faster than us anyway. And then, you know, defense isn't protected by special attacks, so it doesn't matter. We're going to two-shot it pretty easily with taking no damage, which is ideal. It could have, like, Fury swiped us, which would have been annoying, but totally fine. And we're only going to use our Sobble for one more thing, actually. First, let's get back to the train station, and I'm gonna chance it by walking through the grass here, hopefully not hitting any extra wild Pokemon. The reason why I was nervous that Tyrogue popped up before is I don't know if anyone has played this game in the wild areas before, but when you see a Tyrogue, they just run at you, like they just sprint straight at you. And they're pretty fast, so like the same speed as you in terms of like running speed. So it's kind of hard to dodge them. So I didn't want to hit that random encounter if I could avoid it. All right, cool. Now we're taking the train back to Wedgehurst, and we're doing this for a very specific reason. One, it's going to trigger this event, which finally opens up the DLC for us. We're going to do one tiny thing before that, which is we're actually going to exit, and we're going to go to a Pokemon Center. And one thing that Gen 8 does for speedrunning that's very useful is that whenever you have a Pokemon, you can go to any Pokemon Center and talk to the person on the left, and you can have it learn moves from at any level that it would have learned level, you know, from before. So I can learn any move that a Ninetales would have learned naturally at later levels, at earlier levels, you know, so on and so forth. Basically meaning I can customize my moveset. So I am doing that. I'm giving Ninetales 4 completely new moves that we are not going to change at all throughout the run. All right, we're gonna bypass it. That's fine. All right, one more move to teach. Great. So now the 4 moves that Ninetales knows are Nasty Plot, Nasty Plot, Flamethrower, Safeguard, Fire Blast, in that order. Nasty Plot, if you're unfamiliar, is a move that massively boosts your special attack. You can imagine what we're going to use that for. Flamethrower, obvious. Safeguard is a move that gives you 5 turns without being affected by like changing your status. So for example, if someone uses a poison sting and it would have poisoned you, it will no longer poison you if you're under Safeguard. And then Fire Blast again is obvious. Here's going to be the last use of Sobble here. So what this Slowpoke pops up, Galarian Slowpoke to be specific, and we have to catch it. We can't just defeat it. We have to catch it, and it's level 12. Our Ninetales is level 11, and our Sobble is level 12. So what we're going to do is we're going to attack it once with Ninetales to weaken it. And Gen 8, and I think past generations have the same thing. I'm not entirely sure. Again, I only run Gen 1 and Gen 8. But there is a barrier that if a Pokemon is a higher level than you, it exponentially decreases your ability to catch it. However, by switching to Sobble, when we go over to the Slowpoke here, we are now the same level as the Slowpoke, so it catches pretty easy. If I tried to catch it with just Ninetales, I could, but I'd probably struggle. I'd probably have to throw a few balls, and I'd probably get weakened and things like that. None of which we want. So that's the last thing that we're going to use Sobble for, is to catch the Slowpoke in order to progress the story. Also, shout outs to this train worker, conductor, lack of a better term. His sideburns are train tracks. Dedication to the craft of train working. All right. So now we have a little black screen here, and then we are finally going to the Isle of Armor. 40 minutes into the run. You guys wanted to see a DLC speedrun, but now we can get there. Now we're doing the DLC, finally. All of what we did before was base game. Okay, so what's going to happen is there's going to be a professor's aide here who's going to update our Pokedex. Which we have to do. Then we are going to menu. We're going to have a menu here where we're going to deposit Sobble and the Slowpoke we just caught, so we're just rolling with Ninetales. We're also going to equip Ninetales with a Cherry Berry, which, if used, will remove the paralysis condition, basically. Okay. Oops. Hey there. Hey now. Why did you do that? There we go. Weird, but fine. Okay, bag, not save. Jeez, my stick is really giving me trouble. Okay, there we go. Berry. Okay, great. So now Ninetales holds that. It's not going to be important for this next fight that we have coming up, but it's going to be important for the fight after that. And we'll get into that in a little bit. For now, we're going to have a little bit of story exposition. This is Clara coming up here, by the way. Clara is going to be our primary protagonist for the majority of the DLC. She is a poison type trainer who aspires to be a gym leader, and she is going to be trying to be like the star pupil of the dojo that we have coming up here. So naturally we're going to be butting heads a little bit, and we're about to fight her for the first time as we step out here, but we're going to make a quick pit stop at this mart first. Sure, that's fine. I meant to buy 11, but that's fine. We have enough money for it, and it's not a big deal. Okay. Great. So we bought potions and we bought awakenings, which potions are obvious if we get hurt, but awakenings we'll go into in a little bit. For now, we have the first fight with Clara. It's a pretty simple fight. She only has 2 Pokemon, which are Venipede and Galarian Slowpoke. Luckily, by the way, Galarian Slowpoke loses its water typing. It is now Psychic Poison. So we don't have to like worry about, being at a type disadvantage here, which is very nice. And Venipede is obviously a bug type, so we have the advantage here. So not really too much noteworthy stuff here. All we're going to do is first turn, we're going to Nasty Plot. Venipede is going to use Poison Tail, which has a good chance to poison us. It didn't, which is good. Saves us a little bit of time in that regard, so I'm happy about that. And then we are going to Flamethrower now that we have improved special attack. And then we're going to be able to one-shot both, I'm pretty sure. The Slowpoke is always a little bit, depending on your stats, may or may not one-shot. But I think it will, pretty sure. Don't need that anymore. And... oh, that's fine. That actually could have been a problem. If our health was low. Oh, we are confused actually, so this is a problem now. We might be dead. Thanks, RNG. We wouldn't have been with a crit. So we get to redo that fight. I hope you liked it. We should for sure one-shot the Slowpoke the second time because we'll be level 12 then. So it doesn't affect really anything. We just come back here. It's just waste time. This is only the second time I've ever lost this fight, by the way. So, Pokemon strikes again. So... Had we not been confused, that would have been fine. I wasn't fully paying attention to whether or not we were confused or not. Of course we got confused. Okay, so take 2. That didn't waste an extraordinary amount of time either, by the way. That's a minimal time loss in terms of other fights that could occur here, so I'm not actually that worried about it. Plus our health is a little bit higher than it was before anyway, because we had taken 1 hit when we caught the Vulpix anyway, so not a big deal. Health is a little bit higher. We're gonna be level 12 for this fight. You know, everything's looking up for Vulpix / Ninetales. Let's see, can we get the 1 shot this time? Yes, see? Look at that. First try. It was going too well, honestly. Everything had went pretty well. Like, we got really good Onyx RNG. The only thing that had gone a little poorly was that we had bad Vulpix RNG. We had to catch a second one, but that was the only thing that went bad. So, you know, we had to have something that threw a wrench in the plans. It was going too easy at this point. Okay, so now we're going to make our way up to the dojo. I mentioned before that we equipped a cherry berry to our Ninetales, and that is because we're going to fight like the dojo master, whose name is Mustard, coming up here in a second. And the Mustard has 2 Pokemon. He has a Meanfu and a Shinx. Shinx is not a problem. Meanfu will almost in every case of the fight use the move Force Palm, which has a chance to paralyze us. If we have a berry equipped, it naturally erases that paralysis. So that's the main reason why we use it. It's not even guaranteed to paralyze it once it hits, but you know, in case it does, we'll just have it erased right away. We get told about the collectible in the region, which is a Alolan Diglett. We don't need to worry about that. And there we go. Another cutscene here, and then we'll finally get in the dojo. So we have a little bit of cutscene time before we get to the actual fight. So yeah, any updates on the Bulbasaur v Squirtle? Do we have people coming in yet, or no?
Well, let me check.
Yeah.
No, I'm not seeing anything. Squirtle gang, where are you at?
Squirtle gang. That's fine. I mean, you're gonna have to look this poor Squirtle in the eyes and say, no, not today. So, I mean, if you're cool with living with yourself after that, it's on you at this point. I have no control. I'm not the one with the controller in my hand. You are. Don't worry, we still have time for that. So, how the DLC breaks up in terms of the dojo challenges is there's 3 challenges. After we complete the first challenge, our reward is Bulbasaur or Squirtle. That's when we'll choose. So we haven't even gotten to the first challenge yet. We still have to fight Mustard, get to that first challenge, and then, you know, go from there. Shout out to Mustard, only for the fact that Mustard has legendary eyebrows, and you're all about to see why. After this person gives us an experience charm. All right, shout out to Mustard because of the legendary eyebrows. Here's why. Boom. They droop past his chin. Excellent, excellent eyebrows. All right, so now we're gonna fight Mustard. This fight can be a little scary. It mostly goes scripted, honestly, because Mustard mostly uses the same moves all the time, in the same order even. So it's not usually an issue, but sometimes he can go a little off book, and then we'll just have to kind of like adapt and overcome, which is fine. So we're gonna use Nasty Plot. He's probably gonna use Fake Out, which he did, which is going to flinch us. Yep. And then we're gonna use Nasty Plot again. That's fine. Gonna use Force Palm. That's pretty much as scripted. That would have paralyzed us. And then we have to gamble a little bit here with Fire Blast. Now, the reason why it's a little bit of a gamble is that Fire Blast is a massively powerful move. However, it is a 70% or 85. I always forget because it changes between generations. It's either 70 or 85% accurate, so it could miss is the problem. So, but now that we've leveled up and we're buffed with our Nasty Plot, we can just take out Shinx in one shot. So that is pretty
According
much.
to Bulbapedia, it's currently 85%.
85. Okay, yeah. I think it was 7. I think in earlier gens it was lower, but that makes sense. So there we are. That's Mustard. That was like pretty much by the book. Like that's the fight you see 90% of the time, I would say. All right, so now we get our dojo outfit, which is pretty snazzy. Not too bad, not too bad. And we were going to be wearing it the whole time because it's faster to wear it than it is to change back. That's the only reason. We're going to get a question after this cutscene ends, like, do you want to keep your clothes or change them? And we're not going to change them. And then this is actually going to be the first challenge. The reason being is that our antagonist for this adventure, Clara, is upset that she doesn't have a uniform. Mustard gives her this uniform right now. And whoa, someone steals it. Who stole it? There's some Slowpokes. It can't be those Slowpokes because they are fast, and that is because they're fast pokes. They're still called Slowpokes, but I call them fast pokes because they move like that. They're fast. So that is the first challenge. We have to catch these three. Catch in terms of run up to them, these 3 Slowpokes, not like catch in terms of throwing a Pokeball, and then defeat them. And they each have 1 piece of Clara's uniform, and that is the first challenge. So we're going to be doing that. This is one of the only splits in this route that is faster than the Sobble route, because in this Ninetales route we have very minimal setup. All we're going to do is heal real quick, and then that's it. But in this split, not only do you set up by getting some like items and all that, but your Sobble would evolve in this split as well. So that way, the animation takes some time. So this split in itself is quite a bit faster, but other splits are slower. So, difference in route. There goes them Slowpokes. And they're heading right into one of the whole area. The whole island is mainly a wild area. So, but like this is like a more expansive section of the wild area, I would say. And we have to go catch them. Luckily, they're all always in the same spot, which is good. The bad part, the RNG part, is that they can be a little bit annoying to us. They're not like run ending annoying, but like they can use moves that are kind of frustrating to slow us down. So hopefully we have some good fights, but since we have to fight these pretty much the same Slowpoke 3 times. Oh, Bouffalant! Okay, so Bouffalant is incredibly annoying. As you can see, big bull type Pokemon. So it wasn't guaranteed to spawn, but if it spawns and it sees you, charges at you. And now because of that, it threw off my placement. Let's see if I can still hit it. Good. And Bouffalant is faster than you on foot, so like it's gonna hit you if it sees you, most likely. So I had to ruin my day. But how we deal with each of these Slowpokes, so we run into them like such. We're gonna Nasty Plot. Of course, we got crit. Waste time. Oh, and we got confused. Excellent. So wonderful. So this is an absolute troll of a fight. Luckily, we only had 2-turn confusion, which is good. We're gonna Flamethrower. That's fine. Because it disabled Nasty Plot, but we don't need it again. And we got a crit to help balance it, 2 sides of the coin. So that fight was still a little bit slow, especially since we got the Bouffalant there. but overall not bad. I'm actually going to take a potion before the next Slowpoke just to be safe. Oh, okay. That was almost bad. Here we go. I probably could have survived this. I wouldn't have been able to survive all 3 Slowpokes probably, but you know, why take the risk? So here's Slowpoke number 2. We're kind of just going to head in a straight line until it meets us in the middle. There we go. All right, so what we don't want to see first turn mainly is yawn, because that means in 2 turns we're going to fall asleep. It was also bad that we got confusion and it confused us. That was also pretty unlucky, that last fight. Luckily, this time we didn't get confused. Yawn on turn 2 is fine, as long as Slowpoke doesn't use disable here. Good, then we're fine. Good, so that was fine. That was a fine fight. No problems there. All right, and then we only have 1 more Slowpoke, so that's good. We're gonna be hitting that Drapion up in a little bit, but not right now. It always looks like if I had walked faster, I might have been able to catch that one on that cycle, but unfortunately, no. No, was never gonna catch that. Gonna just meet it down here. All right, last Slowpoke. Okay, confusion is okay as long as we don't get confused. That's fine. Acid is fine. I'm a little concerned. I'm going to play this uber safe. I think I would be fine if we got confusion here, but I'm not going to risk it. I'm going to waste 1 turn. Let me see. Would I have been fine? I would have been fine. I would have had exactly... Oh, I got confused. The bright side is... you could probably burn to death, or yeah, of course. We have not made any confusion check, by the way, yet. Just for the record. If we hit ourselves, we're dead here. Okay, good. So that worked out in a way. we really run the gamut on that Slowpoke fight. I almost never get confused on those Slowpoke fights, and we got confused twice. And we got confused with the other Slowpoke. So we've been confused 3 times in this run already, and I'll go plenty of runs without getting confused at all, so that's pretty wild. We're now going to fight this Drapion for a Death Warp now that we were done with the Slowpokes. And the good part about, you know, taking that little risk is that our health is pretty low, so pretty much anything Drapion uses is going to kill us, which is good. So now we Death Warp. We'll probably close down the incentive now, I would say. Because we're getting ready to have to make a decision here.
I can get right on that.
Sounds good.
So, the bid war has been closed, and Bulbasaur is the winner.
All right, Bulba gang.
GG Plant Gang.
Yeah, Plant Gang rose up. You know, we got to respect the hustle. You know, they came through. Just look at this Squirtle though. Just realize what you've done. But you know, I'm glad that the choice has been made.
But look at our little carriage boy.
Yeah. They're I mean, you really can't go wrong. Gen 1 starters, they're also great. I love all 3 of them. So, but we're gonna pick Bulbasaur here. In the Sobble route, it's actually ever so slightly more optimal to pick Bulbasaur than it is Squirtle. Because you take an extra Death Warp in a different way than you wouldn't normally in the Ninetales route. In this route, it doesn't make a difference whatsoever as to which one you choose. And even so, like, even if you choose Squirtle in the Sobble route, it probably won't matter anyway. The only purpose is that you use Bulbasaur or Squirtle for a Death Warp, and you know it's super effective against Bulbasaur and not very effective against Squirtle, so that's the only difference. But we got our Bulba, and then we're going to be moving on to Challenge 2, which is the easiest, but it's also one of the longest because you have to walk the most. but it's a very, very simple challenge. Bye, Squirtle. All right, so what we're gonna do here is we are going to, for now, just for now, we're gonna deposit our Bulba Boy. Don't worry, don't worry. Coming back later, I promise.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that to you. Wouldn't do that to you. But now we're going to make our way over for the second challenge. Luckily, Mustard warps us a good chunk of the way there, warps us across the first area. What the challenge is that we have to find these max mushrooms in a cave, and bring them back. The reason why it's a challenge is that they're somewhat hard to find. Luckily, they're in the same spot every time, so I just go to that same spot. So it's not too hard. Clara's going to try to intercept us there, take the mushrooms for herself. We fight, but it's the easiest of the three Clara fights by a wide margin, because we actually have to stall on that fight to take damage on purpose. That's how easy it is. But we're gonna make our way through the forest here. We're gonna pit stop 2 times just to get some important healing items that will be useful for the third Clara fight and the end game, and hopefully not hit a lot of extra Pokemon here. The first one here is just a hyper potion. Classic Pokemon stuff. Then we're gonna make our way through the grass here. Pikachu, don't. Okay. What are we up to for wild encounters, by the way? So 2 Vulpix, the Wooloo, and the Bouffalon, right? So that would have been 4. Okay. So that's a good mark. All right, so you can kind of see the cave there in the distance. So that's where we're headed. Don't. Okay. Luckily, so that's Tauros, and luckily, Tauros does not behave the same way Bouffalon does by straight charging at you, or else this would also be a very tumultuous area. Don't. Okay, so now we're gonna go in this cave. And you'll see the mushrooms in the moment. So there's a Sandshrew there. Sandshrew is what we're gonna attempt to death warp off of afterwards. So hopefully, you know, they pop up just as frequently as they were right there. Torkoal is borderline useless because it's a fire type, which, you know, it's not gonna kill our Ninetales very fast. All right, so there's a Clara too. She has similar Pokemon as to the first one. She's got her Slowpoke, which she starts with this time. You might be wondering, oh boy, are we gonna have to deal with confusion stuff again? No, we're not, because we're gonna take some precautions. We're gonna take some precautions to avoid that, because this particular Slowpoke basically spams confusion. So we're gonna safeguard, which makes it so our status can't change, and then we're gonna nasty plot. Oops, or safeguard again, I guess. That's fine. Just waste a turn. Then we're gonna nasty plot to raise our special attack. Nasty plot again, because we're still wanting to get, we're trying to get some extra damage here, because we're gonna death warp, and the lower our health is the better. And then that is perfectly fine. Now we're gonna flamethrower. So using that safeguard actually didn't waste any time at all, because I would have had to have stalled an extra turn there anyway, so it's perfectly fine. And now our special attack is super buffed up, so we're just going to be able to crush through this coughing like it's nothing. And then her third Pokemon is the evolved version of Venipede, which is Whirlipede. Still a bug though. Still no problem. There we go. Booyah. Easy peasy. I wish. So we're gonna fight Clara one more time. Clara's 3 fights. Oh, that crit! Don't waste my time. Oh, jeez. So this is just another one of those things that, you know, it has your little introductions. That crit was useless because I would have one-shot it regardless. And then now we get to hear Clara talk about it. So, you know, just waste a little bit extra time. RNG. So yeah, Clara 3. So to give a little context. Clara 3 is what really ruined my mid-fall run on back in November. The reason being is we got all the way to the end of the fight and died and / lost the coin flip twice, which means we had to go through the entire fight 3 times, which on its own, that fight 3 times is probably 10 minutes or 11 minutes, if I had to guess. So hopefully we only have to do it once. That's the idea. However, there is baked into this estimate is a lot of failure time. So the estimate's an hour 45. My PB is an hour 31. So there's a lot of baked in time in case things happen like that. I thought it was enough baked in time. Midfall showed me you never know. So, you know, you just have to take what you get.
That's the joy of Pokemon speedrunning.
Yeah. I thought, you know, a 14 to 15 minute buffer is enough for Pokemon. Apparently not. You never know. But that is challenge 2 complete. By the way, one thing to point out, remember how in challenge 1 the whole deal was the Slowpoke stole Claire's uniform and she was upset? We got her uniform back, she doesn't even put it on. So what does that tell you? But now challenge 2 is complete. We're going to use the max mushrooms to make this max soup. However, Claire's upset that we're not using her mushrooms because she got some too. So we decided to use Claire's mushrooms for the max soup that we're all going to enjoy. The only reason why I'm telling you this and giving you this plot explanation is it matters ever so slightly to the run, because that means we still have our mushrooms, and max mushrooms are a very OP item. The reason why they're OP is that when you use one max mushroom during a fight, it raises every stat, every single one with just one item. So it's very useful because it's gonna be boosting up all of our stats. Very good stuff. Right now we're just in a little bit of a cutscene, and luckily there is no challenge for 3. The third challenge of the dojo. The third challenge of the dojo is to fight Clara in a one-on-one fight. So we're gonna go over here. We have to listen to this kid talk about his Cramorant robot for a minute. I don't even remember what it does, if I'm being honest. I played the DLC casually and I looked at it a little bit. You have to give it watts or something. I don't know. I don't know what it does. Gives you something. All right, so yeah, we're gonna have one last battle with Clara, and you might think, oh, this is the final battle of the DLC, right? No, because then it's like the end of Act 2 of the speedrun. Kind of. If there are 3 acts, the first act ends when you get off the base game and then onto the DLC. Second act ends when you defeat Clara and become like the, you know, master student of the dojo. And then Act 3, the final act, ends when you get your Cubfu evolved into Urshifu. All right, so we're gonna go. Luckily, they have this massive fight arena out back. We're gonna do a little menu right before Clara, and we're gonna save for obvious reasons because this fight is a coin flip disaster, to put it nicely. So we're gonna run up right to her face, and then we're gonna menu. Okay, so one thing we're gonna do in the menu is we're going to equip a P.E.K.K.A. berry, which will become obvious in a second, and then we're gonna save. So the reason why we equip a P.E.K.K.A. berry is because we're going to fight Clara here, and Clara's going to try and cheat a little bit because she's going to throw toxic spikes on the field, so that if we were... so what would happen is that our lead Pokemon would be poisoned right away at the start of the fight. But because we have the P.E.K.K.A. berry, it'll heal from poison immediately. So that's good. And it would make it so that if we swapped Pokemon, then, you know, anytime a Pokemon swapped into that spot, they would also be poisoned. Luckily, you know, we're not going to swap Pokemon, so it's not going to be a problem. So here we go. Clara 3. If any of you have any ability to manipulate RNG or just like send the luck vibes my way, I would really appreciate it. I'll explain a little bit why this is so coin flippy after I get this set up. So we're going to do a massive setup on the Skorupi first. First thing we're going to do is we're going to use Safeguard so that the Skorupi it spams Poison Tail. We don't want to get poisoned, so we're gonna use Safeguard while we're setting up. Safeguard. Now, And, you know, we expect that Poison Fang is fine. Now we're going to go in our bag. We're going to use those max mushrooms. We have 3 of them. We're going to use 2 out of the 3 in the run. So we don't have a lot of wiggle room here unless we wanted to go get more. Okay, so now we're going to go back to fighting, and we're going to Nasty Plot to buff our special attack even more. Now our health is looking a tad bit lower than I would like, so what we're going to do is we're going to heal here, which is, it's fine, that's common. So almost always I have to heal here. That's fine, we get hit again, and then we're going to Nasty Plot one more time. And then now we are +3 on our special attack, so our special attack is like super buffed up. And we're gonna Flamethrower. Now, Claire has 3 more Pokemon. She has a Weezing, a Whirlipede, and then a Slowbro now, as opposed to a Slowpoke. The reason why this fight is so coin flippy, and actually what we're gonna do here is we're actually gonna Dynamax. This is our Dynamax portion. The reason why this is so coin flippy, Weezing and Whirlipede are totally fine. We're actually gonna take them out in one hit. It's not a problem. The Slowbro is a huge problem. The Slowbro has an ability called Quick Draw, and what that means is it can just choose to use this ability, which I think it's 40 to 50% to use. And if it activates, that means the Slowbro will get to go first, regardless of speed. So that means that it will get to go first, and obviously that Slowbro is going to Dynamax as well, as is pretty standard with this game, that the last Pokemon is the Pokemon that the trainer is going to Dynamax. So, and then it'll get to go first, which that doesn't kill us necessarily. But what it does is that Slowbro is going to use Max Geyser. As you can see right now, we have a Drought, which is buffing up my fire attacks. It gets to go first. Max Geyser makes it so it's raining. And then so it not only debuffs my attack, it also weakens my attack. So it makes it, you know, less effective. So RNG, here we go. Yes. Yes, we're fine. We're fine. I would know the Quick Draw takes place right after you choose your move. So we are fine. No problems this time. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for cooperating. So now, because Quick Draw didn't activate, I get to go first, which means the Drought is still in effect, which means my Fire Blast is going to do maximum damage with +3 buff to special attack. As you can imagine, it's just going to dink the Slowbro to death. There you go.
I just checked the Quick Draw chance too. According to Wikipedia, it is 30%.
Oh, 30, even less than I thought. So there you go. And just as a reminder, what happened in Midfall, I got Quick Drawed, and then I Fat Fingered using Fire Blast, so that one was my fault. Then the second fight, I got Quick Drawed, and then Quick Drawed again to fail the second fight. And then on the third fight, I finally got it. So 30% chance, and I got Quick Draw 3 times in Midfall. So at 3 times out of a possible 5 times. So 4 times actually. So that was the kind of luck I dealt with at Midfall. This fight, no, we're fine.
That's a 2.7% chance for that to happen, by the way. Just some quick math.
Mm-hmm. And with Pokemon, it's a 2.7% chance going on a 100% chance in a marathon. So
true.
That's how we're.
No, it's okay. This is just your first try.
Yeah, first try. I mean, that's what it's called. First try. This is the first try event. I've never done this before. Ignore everything I've said up to this point. So now I'm gonna knock on wood here a little bit, but now nothing. We can get unlucky, but nothing is really gonna make it so I go over estimate. I don't think. This is like the coin flip. This might, you know, really mess up the run kind of stuff. Now that we're past this, there are some things that can really slow us down, but nothing that would make us go over estimate, I don't think. So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna stand right in front of Mustard. We're actually gonna go into our Switch settings. We're gonna change the date again, and we're gonna change it to October 15th. Oops. And then we're gonna save. The reason why we do that and then we save, so right now, after we talk to Mustard is going to give us a reward for completing the dojo challenges, which is what he calls the secret armor of the island, which is actually just a Kubfu. There you are. Kubfu's pretty cute, by the way. I like Kubfu. The reason why we save is because we need to have the Kubfu to have, again, certain stats. The only stat that really matters for Kubfu is speed. and it'd have to have really bad speed for me not to run it. So most often it's fine, but you have to save just in case. The reason why we changed the date is because of the Pokemon that spawn outside, which we'll get into in a little bit. But right now, we get our Cubfu. And this is how we're going to finish out this third act of the speedrun. So we need to train up our Cubfu a little bit and then take on one of the 2 towers on the island so that our Cubfu evolves into Urshifu. And then once we get the Urshifu, the run is over. So what we're going to do, not only train it up physically, but we need to train up our friendship level with it too. So that's the part. So let's take a look at our stats here. Marathon luck. That speed is too bad. I can't use it. All right. So we get to see that little cutscene again.
Hooray.
Yeah. So I could take, so the max speed it can have there is 24. Lowest speed is 19. I could take 20 to 24. Just can't take 19. And I got 19.
Marathon luck.
Yeah.
Gotta love it.
Yeah. 20 is a little dangerous. It makes it so there's like a 25% chance that the last fight I do in the run doesn't go well. Anything above 20 though is like guaranteed it's fine. So even with 20, I'm still gonna take a 20 because I can make it so that I can buff myself up a little bit. Not a big deal. But yeah, so I hope you like Cubfu. You're gonna get to see this again. I think I had to reset for Cubfu in my midfall run as well. So, you know, just goes to show you. Game loves to show up for marathons.
The game just wants as much time in the spotlight as possible.
Yeah, I mean, it deserves it, right? So good. Okay, Cubfu, let's try this again, huh? All right, speed 20, we'll take it. All right, bye Ninetales for now. The way we counteract, so like I said, 20 speed is a little scary. The way we're going to counteract it is twofold. We're going to take some extra experience so that we're a little bit higher level than we normally would be. And 2, we're going to grab a Carbos to bump our speed up later on as well. So that's how we'll combat this. So as you can see out here, because I changed the day, we got this like vague fog thing and it's spawning a lot of like psychic fairy type Pokemon, and what we're looking for here is Blissey's. And the reason why we're looking for Blissey's specifically is because they are just big old balls of hit points, not hit points, rather experience points. You'll see quite a bit how fast that we can level up once we have some Blissey's. However, the downside to that is that Blissey's are a 5% spawn chance. Now, they're a 5% spawn chance at any individual spot, so it's not like it's unheard of to see a Blissey or anything like that. But we just kind of have to walk around these little grass areas until we get some Blissey's. And we're probably going to fight at least 3 of them, and maybe 4 depending on the level of the Blissey's that we get. So we'll just have to kind of play it by ear. Come on, Blissey. Show up for me. The reason why we do it right outside the dojo, obviously it's closest to the dojo, so we don't have to walk super far. But 2, there's just a lot of grassy areas that we can manipulate the camera and restart spawns. So it's just pretty quick to do it in this area. But of course we haven't seen a single one yet. Come on. And there's Jigglypuffs for good measure too, so you always see a little bit of pink popping up, and you're like, "Oh, there's one," and then it's just a Jigglypuff, just to troll you. Come on now. Marathons. Ah, there's one. Don't. Okay. We got it. So the first Blissey that we fight, we would actually want it to be a little bit on the lower level side. So hopefully, all right, 13 is the threshold. The reason why we'd want it to be a little bit on the lower side is because level 13 and up, Blissey learns a move that can actually damage us and hurt us quite a bit. But level 12 or below, it makes it so it's not really a problem. Echoed voices the move. Luckily, we should be fine because 13 is low. Like, it could be up to 15, and that would be a kind of a problem. So it's not really an issue. Plus, we killed it anyway. But also we got good RNG for the moveset. But as you can see, we just jumped from 10 to 15. That's how much experience that Blissey just gave us. So that's exactly why we target Blissies. And in comparison, the next best thing is the Jigglypuffs, which give us like, I don't know, I think it's like 700 experience or something like that. Whereas these Blissies give us like thousands and thousands of experience. So that's why we target them. Whoa. That Abra almost just teleported straight on my head. Ooh.
Yeah.
Double spawn. Yeah, that's good. Because that Blissey will still be there after this one.
There's a reason if you see people, EXP grinding, it's probably a Blissey or like an Audino or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For some reason, like those big round-ish fairy type Pokemon, they all for some reason seem to give you a lot of experience. I don't know why it's designed that way, but it just is.
It seems like they want to reward you for taking down something that's so tanky and has so much health.
Yeah, I guess
that's what I'm getting from it.
Yeah, I guess that's the idea. That's a good point. All right. So we got a double spawn there, which is really good. So we're going to, let me see. I'll have to see what level Blissey this is. 14's pretty good. Let me see what level we're at after this. I'm trying to evaluate if I want to fight one more or not. Yeah, I'll just have to wait and see. Yeah, we're gonna fight one more. Just for absolute safety. Oh, hey, just for absolute safety. I probably would have run into this thing anyway. So yeah, we took a long time for them to spawn, but then they all started spawning, which is good. So we'll take that. And we were able to get a low level one for the last one too, which means we can one shot it, which is good. Good. 20 is fine. Oops, that's fine. Didn't need to learn headbutt. All right, there we go. So now we're level 20. That is perfectly fine. So now our Kubfu is trained up enough physically to complete the rest of the run. We just need to train up its friendship level because what Mustard is looking for in order for us to take on the Tower of Two Fists challenge is that our Kubfu and I have bonded. The way that it bonds is through our friendship level. Now, luckily, the DLC sets us up with friendship boosting events, and what those events are is that we go to different landmarks on the island and we just kind of stare at them and bond over the views, I guess, or like just the experience. However, based on the fact that we changed it to like a very foggy and murky kind of day, most of the views that we have are not that great. Like, for example, here's the first one. We're just in like a dark, dank cave. I mean, I guess it's cool looking, but it's not like, I don't know. I wouldn't bond over this with somebody. I don't think. So that's the first one. We're going to do 3 of these total. And it just makes it so we have to walk quite a bit in between each individual place. The second one is going to be actually right next to the tower that we're going to fight. But we'll have to walk back there again on its own on a separate time. And then the third one is actually in the same cave that we did the mushroom challenge. We're going to head back into that same cave. And then there's an area past that cave on the other side. That is where we're going to be headed. All right. But yeah, other than that, it's just getting there and talking to people. So yeah, if we got plugs, if we got, donations, or you guys just want to chat, great time.
I don't see any new donations or anything. But huge thank you to everyone who donated so far. Just definitely going to help us, put on better events, not only online, but also in person when they return. We're all looking forward to it.
So looking forward to it.
I am very much looking forward to that as well, especially the Midwest events. 'Cause like I talked about on my runner spotlight that I did with Newt, I'm getting ready to move to the Midwest, and I'm going to be in Minnesota. So I'm excited to go to in-person events when it's safe to do so again, because I'll get to see all of this wonderful staff in person.
And yeah, we're excited to have you.
Yeah,
very much so. I think our first in-person event back is going to be such a fun time.
It's going to be wild. I think it's going to be a lot bigger, so to speak, than our previous in-person events too. Just in the past year, we've grown so much.
Yeah, I was going to say, despite it all, the Midwest Speedfest events have grown quite a bit, and since having to move to online-only events, it's been really good to see.
And yes, Scooby, we will have our bake-off. That is going to happen.
Again, the bake-off where Gooby has not made the thing he's baking before ever. I like it's weird to come in like, oh yeah, these are way better. Also, I've never made them before.
I want to be on record saying that my own grandmother told me that I make the best peanut butter cookies.
And
they are grandma's seal of approval.
Yeah, and grandmas, they're never biased, so
they're always correct.
Yeah, they're always correct. They'll let you know, like, if your cookies are bad, they'll tell you. Like, they don't care about your feelings.
The other thing to plug is that Mid-Spring Speedlink submissions will close in about a week. So, if you're thinking about it, get those in. I'll pop a link in chat.
Yes, do that. I got my submissions in. I'm excited to be a part of it in some regard. I always also try to volunteer if I can. So, even if it's just in a volunteer capacity, I'm just excited for the event. So everyone get those submissions in. For sure.
We appreciate the heck out of our volunteers.
Look at this beautiful view, by the way. Just a dusty landscape of nothing. All right, so that's the third and last. It's the third and last friendship point, for lack of a better term, that we're going to do. But we are going to grab some items in this area that are going to be useful for us. The first one is this Rocky Helmet, which is an item when it is equipped to a Pokemon. If a physical move is done to attack you, the person who attacks you also takes damage. That's going to be very useful for our last fight. The second item we're going to pick up is a TR. For reversal, TR being like TMs, except they're temporary, which was what TMs used to be, so it's kind of confusing. And then we are going to do a menu here. So what we're going to do here in this menu, we're going to use the rare candy that we got all the way back when, so we're level 21, just to boost us up ever so slightly. And then we're going to teach reversal over focus energy there. And I'll go into a little bit about why reversal is important in a little bit. And then the last thing that we're going to do is we're going to go into our box and we're going to pick up our sweet plant friend here. Swap them in. And we're going to put Cubfu in the box for now. Now, you all so lovingly donated to have Bulbasaur over Squirtle. And this is the main reason why. Is that we're going to take on this Rhyperior, who is 45 levels higher than us. It's going to be fine. Oh boy. Poor Bulbasaur.
No, my sweet child.
Yeah. It's just that's it. That's all we use Bulbasaur for in the run. Unfortunately, now we swap back to our Cubfu. The reason why we do a swap there, by the way, because you might be thinking, Cubfu's still 30 levels lower than that Rhyperior. It should be fine. Why swap? And usually it is fine. The only reason why I chose not to, and why I don't usually do it in marathon style runs, is because when a Pokemon faints, you lose a certain amount of friendship as well. So if I had just exactly enough friendship with my Cubfu, and then I fainted, I would then not have enough friendship. And what I would have to do is I'd have to go into a Pokemon camp and like play with toys and stuff, which is very cute, but wastes a lot of time. So I didn't want to have to do that, unfortunately. So now this guarantees that, we were able to move on. And now all we have to do is go into one of these two towers and defeat the challengers inside, and then we can get our Urshifu. Now, there are two towers here. There's the water tower, and then there is the fighting tower, for lack of better. They have better names than that. Dark tower and water tower. Bouffalon, I swear to God. I skip. Okay. All right, we're fine. We are going to do the dark tower, which is filled with dark type and fighting type Pokemon and stuff like that, because it's a much faster for us to do so. But in addition to that, we actually don't have a choice, because the water tower is surrounded by water and we can't even get to the entrance of it because we don't have an ability to cross water. But even if we could, it would be slower, so it's fine. Because we wouldn't have any good type advantages, basically, which we're gonna have plenty of good type advantages coming up here. The other main thing is now the strategy that we're going to be implementing a lot in these final fights is a combination of the move. Oh, geez, I hit a random encounter. Is a combination of the move Endure and Reversal. Endure is a move that, if lands, means that your Pokemon will survive any hit that would have meant to taking it out. So, for example, if a move was going to faint me, that an opponent used, but I had previously used Endure, I would survive with 1 hit point instead. Reversal is a fighting type move that does more damage based on how low your health is. So you can kind of piece it together what we're doing here. What we're going to do is we're going to use a combination of Endure to get our health down to 1, and then we're going to use Reversal to do maximum damage, because nothing hits harder than your health being as low as it possibly can be. So that's what we're going to be doing. All right, so we're heading up the stairs here, and the dark tower is just ahead. All that is inside the tower is 5 trainers. That's it, and they all have 1 Pokemon each. So it's not like they have multiple Pokemon. So hopefully everything goes well. You'll see, you know, it'll be kind of nerve-wracking sounding here as well, that this NPC that's guarding the door to the tower is going to suggest that our Cubfu be level 30 before we even try, which we are obviously not. We're level 21, but we're not going to worry about it. It's going to be fine. I feel it in my soul. It's fine. Okay, so first trainer here has the Zorua. The Zorua is pretty much a non-factor. We're just gonna rock smash it twice. It's not really a big deal or anything like that. Zorua, very cute. Would you say Zorua? No, Zorua is kind of like a wolf, right? Not really a dog. I don't know if I'd say Zorua, because Zoroark stands on 2 legs, I think, when it evolves. I think. Yeah, it does.
Yeah, so I think we're gonna definitively say not dog, unfortunately. It's kind of like a werewolf thing, maybe. All right, great. So Zoro's down. That's good. Great. All right, so that's one trainer down. And then here's the second trainer. Second trainer has a Scraggy. I gotta take a look at my health here. I think my health is fine. It only matters just depending on what strat we use here. Let me see where my health's at. Yeah, so we're gonna Leer to stall 1 turn. Great. And then we're going to use Endure. So that when Scraggy hits us here, it's going to bring us down to 1 health, which is fine. That's by design. And then we're going to use Reversal. Voila. And now our health is at 1 right now, which is good because the next fight is against an Inkay. And we, there's a chance that we exit this fight and our health is higher than 1, in which case we'd have to Endure and then Reversal again on Inkay. However, our health is just at 1 right now, so we're just gonna use Reversal, and then we're gonna win. So saves us a turn that way. Inkay also very cute, definitively not a dog, but also very cute.
And these fights specifically are exactly why speed is important. It mainly only matters for the last fight in this tower, but if our speed was so bad that we were slower than some of these Pokemon, we wouldn't be able to execute these strategies. So it's very important that our speed is high enough to be important. All right, so fourth trainer has a Krokorok. We're gonna do a little bit of prep for the Krokorok, which is we are going to heal here. And I'm gonna save just in case. I don't know, I just have an inkling. I think it's probably fine, but just in case. Can't hurt. Wouldn't have been the end of the world. The alternative, like if I died for this fight for some reason, then I would have to just restart the tower over and I would respawn at the base of the tower. So it's not like the end of the world, but you know, just in case. Krokorok is always gonna be faster than us. So we plan on getting hit by Krokorok and then using reversal in retaliation, which is exactly why we heal a little bit there, because we want to be able to tank Krokorok's hit and then deal it back to him. All right, so that is 4 of the 5 trainers. I'm sure you can kind of guess the last trainer. It's not Clara, it's going to be Mustard. And we're going to do a little bit of prep work for Mustard here. Great, so what we're going to do first, go into our bag. We're gonna heal to full. Oops, I still need to be in the bag. All right, and then we're gonna head on over here and equip the Rocky helmet, and then lastly, we're gonna save. All right, so here's Mustard in his glorious eyebrows. Mustard only has 1 Pokemon in this fight. He doesn't have his Meanfu, he doesn't have his Shinx. He's going to come at us with 1 Pokemon, which, take a look here, after we see Mustard go Super Saiyan mode, look at those eyebrows now, sticking straight up. Mustard is going to come at us with a Cubfu as well. Spider-Man meme. The reason why I save, obviously with being 20 speed, I'm a little nervous to begin with. But 2, the reason why I save here is regardless of my speed, there's always a chance that I can just get crit here and die, which is annoying. So, but first thing we're gonna do is use a cluster of max mushrooms, buff all of our stats. Cubfu's gonna come at us. It's gonna do a lot of damage. That's fine. But we Rocky helmeted him, so he's going to take a little bit of damage as well. We're going to use Endure to survive another hit at 1 health. And this is where speed really matters. If we're faster, we're going to reversal here. Voila, Cubfu is defeated. That is why that Cubfu has a pretty high stats, not to mention it's at this stage even 8 levels higher than us. So we have to outspeed that Cubfu while also being significantly lower level, which is why speed matters. But there we are. That is the defeat of Mustard, and that is the last of the run. Basically, the run's not over in terms of time, but there's no other challenges. All we have to do is evolve our Cubfu here into Urshifu, and then that will be the end of the run. So we definitively did it. First try. 100%. Nothing I can do can screw it up from this point forward. It tried us. We had to do Claire 1 twice. We had to reset for Cubfu. We had to get it 2 Vulpixes. It tried to do its darndest, but we persevered. So we're gonna evolve Cubfu into Dark Urshifu here. Again, because there are 2 towers, if we had chosen to do the water tower or you doing it casually, if you evolve it into Urshifu there, it will have a different typing and it'll look slightly different. So that's just an interesting thing here. But we're getting the dark type version of Urshifu, which looks like this. You do not need to learn that because it doesn't matter. All right, and time is going to be coming up shortly after this cutscene. All right. And time.
GG.
Much better than last time. We take that. I just wanted to see what my in-game time was. Yep, we take that. So that's it. That is the DLC run. Thank you to the Midwest Speedfest team for having me on here and letting me try this one more time, showing you that I could actually do it. Blissey just spawned, of course. Thank you to everyone involved with this event. Thank you to everyone who donated. If you're interested in running this game or really any Pokemon speedrunning game, feel free just to go on speedrun.com to the respective Pokemon game of your choice. It will link you to a specific Discord or give you a bunch of different guides listed under the guide section. Another Blissey there, geez. A bunch of guides there that will get you started. I know for a fact that this is actually a category extension leaderboard. So it'll be under Pokemon Sword and Shield category extensions. And there is a guide there for both the Ninetales route and the Sobble route, depending on which one you want to do. Feel free to join there as well. And then, yeah, if you like speedruns of this nature, or I've been speedrunning Bug Snacks a lot lately, or Pokemon runs of different kinds, or, you know, point and click adventure games, feel free to follow me at twitch.tv/conception2. Other than that, I'll see you next time I'm in one of these events, and hopefully I don't go over estimate then either.
Thanks for participating. Thanks for running. Also, shout out to the Speedfest shirt. Can't let that go unmentioned.
Oh, yes, of course. I always rep. You know, I try to rep whenever I can. This was the best $20 I've ever spent.
Heck yeah. Same.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys again. I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you folks again, rather.
We are going to go over to a quick conclusion scene, probably talk a bit, and then send y'all off on a raid. So stick around a little bit.